morning. I am here with a quick little 12-15 minute workout flow that we are going to do to work on low back strength and hip stability. So really focusing on how we can strengthen through our low back, stabilize our hips so that as we are sitting at our desks, driving, whatever activities we're doing, we are keeping our low back strong, which is going to help us create better posture, have a great foundation for good posture, as well as just keeping those low back aches and pains away, stabilizing and strengthening our hips so that they work well with our low back, and we can just have a great foundation to work with when it comes to day-to-day life, as well as reaching our fitness goals. We're going to start lying down on our back, and we are going to work through some pelvis movement, some hip movement, low back movement, and then work on some strength moves. We will be on our mat today, on our back for the most part. You don't need any props. I don't have props planned. I can walk you through a couple of times when, if you have a Pilates ball, you can add it, or a yoga block, but you don't need any of those today. But let's get started. We are going to lie down on our back. I am rolling my shoulders down, nice long neck. My feet are planted flat on the ground. My heels are in line with my hip bones. And I am going to tuck my tailbone up to the ceiling and flatten my low back on the mat. Big exhale, pulling my ribs in, bringing them close to my hips. And then as we inhale, we untuck our tailbone. Let it stick all the way down, pressing our tailbone into the mat, lifting our low back, keeping that nice arch. Exhale, pulling that tailbone up, pulling those ribs in, engaging that core. Inhale, rolling our tailbone into the mat. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, pressing that tailbone to the ceiling. Inhale, rolling it down into the mat, arching our low back. Last one. Exhale, press all that air out of your lungs, pressing your low back to the mat, ribs knit together. Inhale, arch that back, stretch it all out. And then relax. Wherever you find yourself right now is what we would call neutral spine. So we have a little bit of space between our low back and the mat. It's not completely imprinted. It's not completely pressed into the mat. We're just relaxing nice here. We're going to do a little bit of a core warm up, because what is Pilates without doing the 100 at least once? Let's cut it in half this time. Feet can stay flat on the mat, or you can bring them into tabletop or extend them out, your choice. We're here, our arms come up to hover just above the mat. Deep breath in. As we exhale, nodding our chin slightly, lift head, neck, and shoulders up, and then we inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. Exhale. Inhale, raising that belly up. Exhale, pull that belly button in with each one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Last round. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll your head back down. Stretch along for a moment. Come back in. And again, deep breath in, arms hover. Exhale, roll it up and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, last round, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax down, stretch long, and bring everything back in. We're gonna work into toe taps. Really bad name for this because we don't really want to tap our toe by bending our knee. We want to work from our hip. So for stability's sake and for keeping our low back strong through this, we are going to keep our one leg on the ground. Our other leg comes up into tabletop. So creating a table with our shin, 90-degree at our hip and 90-degree at our knee. We're here. I keep 90 degrees at my hip. The only place that we are changing that angle is at my hip. So knee is at 90, hip changes. I press my knee and toe towards the ground and bring it back up. Low back stays still. Lowering it down and bringing it back up. Lowering it down and bringing it back up. Lower down, bring it back up. One more here, lower down, bring it back up. Place that foot on the mat. Other leg is coming up, same thing, keeping our knee stable. Our hip is what hinges. We lower down, bring it back up. Press it down and up, down and up, down and up. One more here, down and up. Good. If you managed to keep your low back still through all of that, let's progress up a little bit. If you need the stability of one foot on the mat still in order to keep your hips and low back still, stay there. If not, we are going to bring both of our legs into tabletop. You can imprint your low back here in order to keep that stable. And we're going to drop one foot down, bring it back up, and then the other. If you have one foot on the ground, then we will do 5 on one side and 5 on the other. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up, down, up, down. One more each side, down, up, down, up. Good. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a hug. Good. Placing your hands flat on the ground, placing our feet flat on the ground. We're going back to that hip bone distance apart. So not the outside of my hips, but right where my hip bones are. That's where I want my knees to come straight out of, and my heels and toes are in line with that. When you try and stamp your feet into the ground, you want to make sure that you have weight through your entire foot. You don't want to have your feet so far out that if you try and stamp your foot down, your toes are lifting up, or so close that if you stamp your foot down, your heels are lifting. We want to find that spot where we have good weight on all 5 toes and our heels. My arms are down by my side. If you have any low back issues, the first move we do is what you're going to stay with the entire time, which is not articulating our spine, but keeping a nice flat back. We take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, pulling our belly button in, pulling our ribs together. Hold this for just a moment, engaging that core. Take a nice deep breath in through your ribs and back, but keep your belly button pulled into your spine. Exhale, pull those ribs in. Inhale, relax. We're going to add some bridging into this. We're going to start to press into our hands and feet and move our hips up off of the mat. So we're taking that nice deep breath in. Belly button pulls in, ribs knit together. As we exhale, we press into our hands and feet and lift our hips up off the mat. Nice flat back, shoulders down, long neck. Hold it here. Hold, weight in, all 5 toes, all 10 toes, and your heels. We're holding. Deep breath in through ribs and back with our belly button still pulled in. And exhale, bring your hips down to the mat. Repeat, inhale, rest and reset. Exhale, engaging that core, pressing those hips up. Weight into our hands and knees to help us stabilize. Focusing up at the ceiling. Holding here, hold, hold, hold. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, bring it down. Good. We are going to start to articulate our spine. If you have low back issues, don't articulate your spine. If your medical team has asked you not to articulate your spine, don't articulate, but stay with that nice flat back. To articulate, we take our nice deep breath in. Exhale, pulling our belly button to our spine. Tucking our tailbone under, and we start to roll up, bringing one vertebrae off of the mat at a time. Low back, middle back, upper back. Hold at the very top. Holding here. We are going to do little hip drops. So our hips go down an inch and then press back up. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Down, up. 2 more. Down, up, down, all the way up to the top. Hold here, and then articulate down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, sacrum, tailbone. Deep breath in. Exhale, tuck that tailbone, engage that core, roll all the way up to the top. Holding here. We're going to come into big hip drops. So our hips drop all the way down to hover just above the mat and press back up. Hover down, press back up. Drop to that hover, press back up. Drop down, press back up. Drop down, press back up. One more, drop down, press back up, and articulate down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, sacrum, tailbone. Bring your knees in. Rock side to side. And now, feet go back onto our mat. But this time my feet are glued together. I'm going to open my knees to either side, and the soles of my feet are pressed together, and I'm opening up into a nice butterfly position. My hands are down by my sides. If you feel like this is not as comfortable, you can bring your elbows in to help you stabilize, or you can keep your hands here. If you have a yoga block or a Pilates ball and you want to add a little bit more instability, you can place that underneath your feet. But from here, we are going to articulate up into a bridge, lifting our hips off of the mat, and hold there for a moment. So deep breath in, exhale, articulate all the way up into a bridge here. Holding here, trying not to rock side to side, trying to keep those hips nice and stable, and articulate all the way down. Inhale, exhale, articulate all the way up, and we're going to go into those big hip dips here. So dropping down to hover, press back up, drop down, press back up, drop down, press back up, down, up, 2 more, down, up, down, up, hold here, hold, 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 articulate down, upper back, middle back, lower back, sacrum, tailbone. Deep breath in, exhale, engage that core, tuck that tailbone, roll all the way up. Last thing here, we are bringing our knees together, opening them up, knees together, open up, knees together, open up, knees together, open, 2 more, knees together, open. Last one, open and articulate all the way down. Stretch nice and long. And let's bring one leg, one foot to the mat. We're gonna cross our opposite ankle over that knee. If this is a good stretch for you, you can hold it here, or you can bring that bottom leg up and even hold onto it. Deep breaths here. Nice stretch. You can rock side to side here. Good. Bring that down. Other leg, cross the ankle over. You can hold it here. You can bring it up to tabletop, or you can reach through and find that nice stretch. Nice deep breaths here. Release this down. And we're gonna roll over to our quadruped. So we're coming here. The last thing for our hip stability, we're gonna come into bear pose. I have all 10 fingers, well, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs spread apart, shoulder distance apart. My knees are hip distance apart. My toes are tucked under. We are going to press into our toes and hover our knees just 1 to 2 inches above the ground. We're holding here in our bear pose. Now we are going to internally rotate one knee and then the other, kind of like windshield wipers. One knee comes in and out, and in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. One more each side. In, out, in, out. Bring your knees down, point your toes down, and sit back into child's pose. We have our bear pose with internal rotation one last time. Deep breath in. As we exhale, engage that core. Press into the toes, hover those knees, and rotate in, out, other leg. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. One more each side. 5, 5. Knees come down. Toes point. Press back into child's pose and just sink into the stretch. Let's walk our hands all the way over to the right, looking at those fingers, and then letting your head sink down, sinking into those hips, stretch through your side body. Coming up, walking all the way over to the left, releasing that head, sinking into that stretch. Walk those hands back to center. And now we're going to stretch through our hips. So we're going to bring our hips over to one side, really stretching through that side glute. And back to center. And then over to the other side. It's a little movement that can get a great stretch. Good. And sit back into child's pose one last time. Good job. Awesome work today. Thanks for joining along. Let me know what you loved about this, what you found difficult about this, and if anything was brand new to you, let me know what you think. And I can't wait to see you Thursday night live in the group for our stretch session to start off our Friday and weekend. Great. I hope you're having an awesome day, and we'll talk soon.